Hello, this is Monique McDonald. And if you're looking for more one-on-one help with your voice and how to make it magnetic, I want to invite you to check out my coaching packages at themagneticvoice.com. Then click Transform with Monique and book a complimentary connection call. Let's see if we can find a package for you that will fit all of your needs. I'm so grateful for your listening to the Magnetic Voice podcast, and I can't wait to meet you and continue the conversation. Take care. See you soon.
Welcome to the Magnetic Voice, here on the Experience of the Soul podcast channel, a show where speakers and singers learn how to be more magnetic and align their voices to the divine within. Today, episode 74, Runway of Dreams. And now your host, Monique McDonald.
Hello and welcome to the Magnetic Voice podcast. My name is Monique McDonald, and I am here with the beautiful Shannon Kropf. Hey, Shannon.
Hi, Monique. It's so awesome to talk to you.
I am stoked to be here today. It is the first Saturday of October. Can you believe it's October?
October is such a special month. It's always been my favorite, and it's a little different down here in Florida than it used to be up in the mountains of North Carolina when I first fell in love with it. But, the light changes and there's this shift and, we're turning into a new season, and I just really love October.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. It's one of my favorite times of the year. New York is slowly but surely turning to fire with all the colors of fall. It's
beautiful,
just exquisite. And today we happen to be having a gorgeous cloudless sky and these streams of color. Just glorious, dreamy, in fact.
Dreamy. When we lived up in North Carolina, especially up in the mountains, we used to laugh at all the Florida people who would come up and drive so slow on the roads because they were looking at the leaves. And we're trying to, we're college kids. We're trying to get to our little retail job so we can keep the lights on. And we used to laugh and we used to say, oh, there's the Floridians again.
Oh,
But now I understand because I miss that color, that glory and splendor. So, and there's nothing quite like that crystal blue sky
really?
With the orange, like if you're looking up through a tree, the orange or the red or the yellow or whatever.
It's really
up against that
spectacular.
crystal blue sky. Oh my God. It's got to be just a little taste of heaven or the eternal or the divine or whatever it is, because it always moves me.
It always moves me as well. And I've always thought of fall as the beginning. I know seasons wise, it's not that, but because of school and because of just feeling this new perspective. I mean, so always a little sad to see summer leaving, but this new way of looking at things. And that brings me to our topic today called Runway of Dreams.
Ooh.
Shannon, I got the opportunity to go to New York Fashion Week a few weeks ago. And I have to tell you, it was my first time. And as a New Yorker, New York Fashion Week is one of those amazing things.
Oh,
and,
I'm sure.
It's so funny, too, because we're talking about the leaves turning and the people who come up here to look at leaves, and we call them peepers.
Nice.
Peepers. And this is how I felt, because this particular runway show was for adaptive apparel. Now,
Oh, interesting. Tell me what that is.
well, I'm going to tell you all about it, but
Okay.
it's really just seeing fashion from a whole different perspective. And this event was called Fashion Revolution. And I actually got to see
Ooh.
history made while I was there.
Wow.
So let me tell you the story of
Okay.
the founder of Runway of Dreams, whose name is Mindy Shire. And Mindy was inspired to start Runway of Dreams after her son Oliver, who has muscular dystrophy, dreamed of wearing jeans like everyone else.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh.
Right? It was taking her hours to dress him because of having to deal with all of the challenges of dressing a handicapped person. And she decided to use her own design skills because she worked in fashion. She was a fashionista, to adapt a pair of jeans that would meet his needs and increase his confidence.
Oh, wow.
And the dream was born. She started to look around her and she started to realize that there were many mothers in that situation. There were many people with a need to be dressed fashionably and with dignity and with
Yes.
fun and to be a little bit like
Right.
everybody else, right? So she went on to conduct extensive research to develop modifications to fashion and apparel that would meet the needs of the largest minority in our world, people with disabilities. Now,
Oh, wow.
when I met this woman and I appeared on a summit with her, and that's how this whole invitation started. One of my dear friends won 2 tickets and she's from Toronto, and she said, "I'm coming to New York. Won't you be my guest?" So I got to have this. It was a dream come true for me as well.
Right.
And this woman went to all the designers in New York, and so
my
many
God.
of them said no. They couldn't see it.
Oh.
They didn't, it either was going to be too expensive to adapt the fashion, or they didn't feel that there was enough of a need for it. But as I heard Mindy talking, she started to look around the room, and we were a room of women. We were on Zoom, but we were a room of women. And she said, "You realize that we're all going to get older and it's going to be harder, right? To button the buttons and tie the shoes." And then I really got it. How, just having elderly parents and having to go with them to the restroom. And this whole thing I started to get it. And because of her persistence, she went to Tommy Hilfiger. And Tommy Hilfiger was the designer that said yes.
Wow.
And they launched the first mainstream adaptive clothing line for kids.
Oh my gosh.
And they spent millions of dollars doing focus groups and studies, because it's not until you try to put on the clothes or trick the clothes off that you really know what adaptations need to be made. So these focus groups started to communicate with each other and have this conversation about so community was built.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
And then,
oh my God, that's amazing.
It went from kids to adults. And then other designers hopped on boards, such as Kohl's, Target, JCPenney, Zappos.
Oh my gosh.
And they had this line, and more people started to come on board. And I was there the night that Victoria's Secret came on board.
What?
And I'm
my
like,
God.
tears are coming to my eyes as I just remember.
Yeah.
This, Shannon, like most of the women I'm sure listening to us today, we all have issues with our bodies. We all come in different shapes and sizes. We all have these thoughts about what we wish were better about our bodies.
Yes.
But I'll tell you what, that perspective totally changes when you see women in wheelchairs, women with only one leg, women with no legs, hopping, using their arms to take themselves down the runway.
Oh my God.
In sexy lingerie. I lost my mind. There's actually, you can go online and look up Runway of Dreams, Fashion Revolution, New York Fashion Week, and you can see the video of their.
Wow.
I'll actually ask our darling Dave, our producer, to put the link in the program notes. But you're also going to hear Monique screaming at the top of her lungs. It was such a moment.
Wow.
It was so many things. It was watching this woman who felt so alone with this dream, stepping into it, and with such perseverance that she just wouldn't stop. And she got many rejections and many no's, and then she got her yes.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
That's incredible.
It's one of the most beautiful stories of the human spirit. And so she started having these events, and then she got overwhelming requests from multiple brands and industries.
Yeah.
And people who wanted to be part of it. So she created Gamut Talent Management to represent people with disabilities.
Oh my God.
And create a marketplace where businesses and industries can connect to this target audience.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Are you kidding me?
World-changing thing. Seriously. Talk about, like, seriously, revolution. You know, we can sometimes throw that word around, but oh my God. That's extraordinary.
It was extraordinary. And it was the fashion revolution. And, you know, that moment when Victoria's Secret came on board and these women just representing this beauty, and that we are all beautiful, and that we all have a desire to be sexy and attractive, and that there are so many, especially in fashion, right? So many messages about what you're supposed to look like and what beauty is supposed to be. And this was a happening. There were over 70 participants in the show.
Oh, wow.
On the runway that night. It was a thing. And what happens when you bear witness to so many dreams coming true at the same time,
At the
in the
same
same
time, right.
moment. It just
Wow.
changes you on a cellular level. You start to really consider what is possible. What is possible? We are so busy in our lives. We are so busy trying to live our lives in the best way that we
Right.
can. It's just so rare that we get these kinds of opportunities to look up,
Right. Right.
to look up and bear witness that, this mother just wanted her kid to be able to wear a pair
Yeah.
of jeans. It's
Yeah.
the most simple thing, and it turned into a fashion revolution.
Right. Well, that also demonstrates that we all have needs in common.
That's
And
right.
you just said this, but it's just sort of hitting me. One mom wanted to be able for her kid to wear a pair of cool jeans, and clearly that's like a worldwide. It hits something in us that is common to us all.
That's right.
Yeah, that's extraordinary.
It really was. And then to be at the party, at the cocktail party, and
Mm,
see, because a lot more designers are moving into this area, this target market.
yeah,
So you
yeah.
got to not only see it on the runway, you got to actually feel the clothes and see the clothes and
Oh
see
my
how they were
gosh.
using, magnets and
Oh
things.
wow.
It was just so innovative, and it just,
Yeah.
because we may not be handicapped, but we're going to get older, right? We're all
Yes.
there, and they're just cool clothes. so so it just, the innovation and the not settling, that's
Mm,
what it was for me. Just, this is not, people who are handicapped, this is not something new. This has been going on, right, forever.
sure.
As long as
Right.
there have been human beings, there have been people who've been injured, there have been people who've been,
Yep.
handicapped, there, whatever the case may be. But this is the first time that this collision of
Mm,
fashion
right.
and this demographic have come together
Hmm.
in this particular way. And the history that I watched being made was Victoria's Secret coming into the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
The first lingerie,
Yeah.
designer to say yes to this. But that in and of itself was huge. But then to see
Oh yeah.
the faces of these women,
Ah,
and to see how beautiful they felt, and
wow.
the courage and audacity to
Right.
go
Right.
down the runway in lingerie. I just was, I was literally lifted up.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I wanted to bring this to our listeners and to you today, because as we are looking at this time of year, we are peepers, seeing the change of the seasons, feeling
Mm,
the new energy and crispness in the air,
hmm.
um, looking at the world with a new perspective. The world, at least here in New York, the fashion is changing, right? Because of all the color
Right.
that's showing up with the
Right.
trees.
Yeah.
And what is our runway of dreams?
Mm,
What is ours to do? That's maybe something that seems unimportant, Just like a pair of jeans that fits. A pair of jeans that's easy to get on and off, of her son, so that he could feel like all the other kids.
Right.
What in our lives is there? And to just look up, look for it. Just notice, this is something new. I never thought of it this way. That might be the seed for your runway of dreams. Right?
Absolutely. And how exciting.
How exciting! It's that new perspective on things that we see every day that we're looking for.
Right.
So we are coming from a different place and just noticing and being curious. All right, my friend.
That's so good.
Shall we take this into a meditation?
I think we should. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful energy. Let's go.
All right. Thanks a million. Today, I am so excited to guide you back to the beginning of your dreams. Today, I want you to connect to the part of you that is full of ideas, full of dreams. So many of us have had our dreams crushed before they even started. So many of us have been told no, either by someone outside of ourselves or by ourselves. We have the beginnings of our imagination taking us to something that might be so amazing, that wants to move through us and be born. A dream that is already fully formed, executed, and realized and manifested. But because it shows up as a little seedling, so often we tell ourselves things like, well, who am I to do that? Or I don't have enough money, or I don't know enough people. That part of us that really truly is just trying to keep us safe shows up and shuts it down. So today, in this moment, just you and me, we're going to give ourselves permission to go back there, to go back to that field of dreams. Go to that place where we don't have to worry about making it come true or how it's going to come true. We just get to dream the dream. We just get to experience that elation, that feeling inside of us that happens when we do something or think something or experience something for the first time. And we have that light bulb moment and we say to ourselves, oh my goodness, what if? What if? And then we let it play. And we quiet that voice that tries to come up with the hows and the shoulds. We turn the volume down on that voice and turn the volume up on the what if voice and just let it roll through us. We're going to roll around in what if and breathe it in and allow our ideas and imagination and dreams to run wild. What if I open this door and walk through it? What if I have this idea and imagine the entire universe rushing in to support me? What if the most simple thing that I do every day, I think of a new way to do it and wonder, what if this can make someone else's life easier? What if this could change the way the world thinks? What if I say this out loud and the world says yes? Today, I invite you to dream the dream without any chains or barriers. Open yourself to it. Allow it to move through you. Today's the day. You never know what will be born through you today. Maybe you'll create your runway of dreams.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of The Magnetic Voice here on the Experience of the Soul podcast channel. This channel is made possible because of listeners just like you. If you would like to support the channel with your tax-deductible contribution on an ongoing basis or through a one-time gift, head over to experienceofthesoul.com/support. The Magnetic Voice is copyright 2022 Monique McDonald, all rights reserved. Our theme music is composed by Dave Kropf and used with permission. The Experience of the Soul podcast channel is a production of 818 Studios.
Hey friends, Sean here, your Experience of the Soul producer. I want to take a moment to tell you about something truly exciting. The Soulworks online community, created by your host, Cynthia Alice Anderson, and available on the Mighty Networks app. If you're looking for a place where you can explore your spiritual path, connect with others, and grow in a meaningful way, then this is for you. Soulworks is so much more than an online community. It's a safe, inclusive space for spiritual exploration, self-discovery, and personal transformation. Inside the community, you'll find everything from uplifting spiritual studies to soul-centered growth practices, meditations, affirmations, and so much more. It's a space where you'll always be supported and never judged. The best part, membership is free. You'll have access to powerful resources, inspiring content, and a supportive group of like-minded people who are all on their own unique spiritual journeys. And if you're ready to dive deeper, there are premium options available to enhance your experience with a live Monday night talk series and extended, deeper meditations. If you're seeking a place to connect, grow, and nurture your soul, we would love to have you join us in the Soulworks community and see where this journey can take you. Visit my.soulworkscommunity.com today.